tells about a teenager named Hajime Nagumo who is sent to another world with his classmates. They are treated like heroes assigned to save humanity. While his friends got very strong powers, Hajime is just a weak young man. Then, how will Hajime get a power that surpasses his companions and make him the strongest? Watch till the end. For being too weak, Hajime was laughed at by his friends. They all went on a mission to conquer a labyrinth. One of Hajime's friends, Kaori Shirisaki, asked Hajime not to join the mission, because Kaori was worried about Hajime's safety, but Hajime still chose to come along. While exploring the labyrinth, they were all overwhelmed by the monsters. Hajime tried to restrain the monster, but when Hajime wanted to save himself, one of his friends accidentally fired magic at Hajime, making him fall to the bottom of the abyss. Hajime was still able to survive. Unfortunately, he meets a very strong monster and made Hajime lose his left arm. Luckily, he managed to escape and stay alive. Hajime realized that his friend had betrayed him, and he was determined to kill anyone who got in his way. He tried to survive by eating monsters. Monster cells began to fuse with his body, resulting in changes. Hajime's body muscles underwent drastic changes, making him stronger. Knowing this, Hajime continued to eat monsters and acquire new skills. Hajime can create a magic weapon with transmutation skill to fight the monsters that were there. He found a secret room guarded by two giant monsters. To enter it, he had to defeat them first. When he entered the room, Hajime meets a little girl who had been sealed. She is Yu, an extremely powerful and immortal vampire. Yu had been betrayed by the people of her kingdom because she was considered too dangerous. Because they couldn't afford to kill her, so they chose to seal Yu. Having the same background, Hajime released her from the seal. The monster guarding the room appeared. Hajime and Yu worked together to attack the monster so they could get out of there safely. Exhausted, Yu had to suck Hajime's blood for her magic energy to recover. They launched an attack together, which in the end they managed to defeat the monster. Hajime made an anti-material rifle from the body of the monster he had defeated. He invited Yu to come with him to his world, and she looks interested. They then continued their journey and arrived at the lowest floor, the 100th floor. When they entered the room, there was a guard on the 100th floor, a giant six-headed snake. At first, they had difficulty fighting the snake because of the ability of the white snake's head to heal itself. Caught off guard, Yu was hit by a hypnotic attack from the black snake's head and forced Hajime to kiss Yu so she could regain consciousness. Hajime fired his anti-material rifle, which made the three giant snake heads destroyed, followed by Yu's attack, which finally eliminated the monster completely. However, the battle wasn't over yet. The giant snake was still able to attack Yu. Hajime blocked the attack until he lost his right eye. Apparently, the snake monster still has the last head, the seventh snake head. Hajime asked Yu to suck his blood so he could gain new abilities and increase his strength. With a combined attack, they managed to defeat the giant snake. Even so, Hajime pushed himself so hard that he fainted. When Hajime came back to his senses, his wounds had been treated by Yu. He was brought by Yu to the last place in the labyrinth. The two of them explore the place to a room and meet the hologram of the man who had built the labyrinth, Oscar. He gave Hajime new information and power. The power is an ancient magic, creation. So Hajime could make various things from his world. Before leaving the labyrinth and returning to the surface, Hajime made preparations by learning new magic and crafting some weapons. He intended to find another labyrinth in order to find ancient magic that could bring him back to his world. After they exited the labyrinth, they accidentally meet a rabbit man, Shay. She asked Hajime for help in order to save her family. Shay kept on teasing Hajime so he would help her save the forest from the beastman's attack. Yu accepted the request on the condition that Shay would guide them to their next destination. They then headed into the misty forest on Hajime's motorcycle. Arriving there, Hajime eradicated the beastmen that were attacking Rabbitmen race. With Hajime's help, the Rabbitmen race could live in peace together with the other races in the forest. Hajime got information that there was a labyrinth in the forest. The note in the stone tablet said that they had to conquer the other 4 labyrinths before entering that labyrinth. For that, Hajime asked the rabbit men to train stronger so that they could help him when he returned to the forest one day. Shay wanted to go with Hajime and Yu, although Hajime initially refused, but since Shay managed to persuade him, Hajime finally accepted Yu's request. Shay is now officially Hajime and Yu's partner. They went to the second labyrinth, Ochan's labyrinth, which was easier than Oscar's labyrinth. After passing through several rooms and obstacles, they finally made it to the last opponent, a kind of robot that can regenerate. Their battle didn't last long because they did a combination attack which ended with Shay's hammer hitting the robot's core. Made it vanished. They headed to a room and meet Milady. She gave a gift of gravity magic to you because Hajime and Shay's levels were unable to use it. Not satisfied with just that, Hajime also robbed Milady, forcing her to give away all her valuables. In order to get out of the labyrinth, they were swept through the water channel, which caused Shay to drown in surprise to see the strange-looking fish talking to her. Hajime did first aid by giving artificial respiration to Shay, but Shay responded with a very passionate kiss. They continued their journey to the city of Furin and spent the night in an inn. She argued with you and said loudly that she willingly gave up her virginity to Hajime, making the entire customer there who heard it fell silent. The following day, Hajime met the head of the Furin Adventurers Guild, Ilward Chung. He gave a mission to find missing person. Hajime accepted it as long as the guild gave the highest adventure rank to him and the others. Not only that, the guild must also be willing if Hajime needed their help. The guild head accepted Hajime's request. Hajime went on a mission to find missing person in the mountainous area. They stopped at a restaurant because of hunger. Hajime meets his former teacher, Aiko Hatayama. She was very happy to see Hajime still alive. Aiko kept asking Hajime about what happened to him after falling into the abyss. However, Hajime didn't answer because his classmates could hear their conversation. At night, Hajime meets Aiko in her room. Hajime told her everything he had experienced in the labyrinth. Hajime told the reason why he fell into the abyss. It was because one of his friends intended to kill him. Hearing this, Aiko became restless. She forced to come with Hajime to look for missing people. He then took them all into the car. After arriving in a forest, they found the footprints of a giant monster. They went to a cave and managed to find the person they were looking for. He is a nobleman, Wokidata. A black dragon suddenly appeared that immediately attacked them. You protected Aiko and the others, while Hajime and Shay fought against the black dragon and managed to defeat it. Hajime attacked a weak point, which was none other than the dragon's butthole, and interrogated it. It made the dragon admit that it had been controlled by someone in black robes, and that person had gathered powerful monsters to attack the city. After Hajime pulled out the object that had pierced its ass, the dragon changed into its human form, which was a masochist woman named Teo Claris, a member of the Claris clan of Dragonborn. Knowing that the monsters would attack, Hajime decided to prepare himself and took Teo with him to increase their battle power. Before the battle started, Teo asked to join the adventure with him. Hajime refused, but that didn't stop her from joining with Hajime and the others. Soon the monsters came close. Hajime and the others attacked with heavy weapons and used magic to defeat all the monsters. In that battle, Hajime managed to find the mastermind behind the monsters' attacks. Hajime brought him in front of Aiko. It turned out that he was one of Hajime's classmates. He is Shimizu. Shimizu turns out to be working with the demons to gain power. When Shimizu intends to kill Aiko, suddenly Shimizu is attacked by a shot from one of the demons, causing him to die. Whereas Aiko was poisoned by Shimizu's weapon, it made Hajime give holy water by drinking it with his mouth. Hajime was forced to kill Shimizu because he considered Shimizu an enemy. After that incident, Hajime escorted Wokidata back to his house. In the end, Hajime officially accepted Teo to be his partner. Hajime and Shay toured the city of Furin, and they accidentally saved the little child who was a merfolk, Miu. She had been kidnapped by slave traders to be sold on the black market. Since Hajime didn't want to add to the trouble, Hajime left Miu at the city guard's place. Suddenly there was an explosion in that place. It turned out that Miu had been kidnapped again by the slave trader. Hajime intends to save Miu and invites Yu and Tio to join the search for the slave traders throughout the city. In the end, Hajime managed to save Miu and the other slaves. As a bonus, he blew up the slave trader base. As a thank you, Miu instead called Hajime Papa. Hearing those words made Yu and the others want to immediately have a baby with Hajime. They then went to the town of Dorad to deliver a letter from the town's guild head Furin to the town's guild master. The city is the entrance to Oscar's labyrinth. While meeting the head of the guild, suddenly one of Hajime's friends came. He is Indu. He seemed surprised to see Hajime manage to survive the labyrinth. Indu said that his friends were having a hard time fighting a devil named Katla, resulting in one of them having to die from Katla's attack. At first, Hajime didn't want to help them because they had betrayed him, but he remembered that there were still good friends like Kaori who needed his help. When Kaori and the others were overwhelmed facing the monsters, Hajime came just in time and saved them. Hajime's friends were amazed by the change in strength Hajime had. He easily rendered Katla powerless. He asked about the whereabouts of other demons, but Katla didn't answer, which forced Hajime to kill her. Kaori approached Hajime because Kaori missed him a lot. They came out of the labyrinth and were greeted by soldiers who considered them heroes. Kaori confessed her feelings to Hajime, but Hajime refused because he already had Yu. However, Kaori still insisted on going with Hajime and becoming his partner. Yu finally accepted Kaori to come with them so that Kaori officially became one of Hajime's harem. In the end, Hajime continued his journey to Miu hometown and would defeat anyone who got in his way. That's the whole story of the anime Arifureta, from commonplace to world's strongest. If you like harem and isekai themed anime with comedy elements in it, I recommend you to watch this anime. I also recommend you to watch the video that appears on the end screen of this video for you. So, stay healthy and see you later.